Hi everyone, Danny here. Well, it's July 4th. Today's our first day of cherry picking. I'm here at my farm in Creston, BC, Just a Mere Organic Farm, which is located just north of where Idaho sticks up. In fact, if I look out my kitchen window here, I can see the American border there. We're only about 8 miles north of the States, right down, nestled right along the border. Anyway, I'm here today to talk about cherries. So we have awesome cherries here at Just a Mere Organic Farm. I wanted to give a little bit of overview of what makes our cherries awesome and what to look for when you're buying cherries at the grocery store or at the farmer's market or whatever. And yeah, so let's do that. So today we're picking these things here. These are Rainier cherries. And these are the ones that everybody loves, but nobody knows what they are. So there are these beautiful, awesome blush ones. So they have a bunch of different colors. They've got yellow, they've got pink, they've got red, they've got little spots on them. They're absolutely delicious, gorgeous cherries. Now, what makes a really good cherry, first of all, is the size. So our cherries are something at least 9 or 8.5 row when we ship. And that refers to how many cherries you can put in an old box from like 1922 or something like that, but who cares? The important thing for you to know is that it's definitely bigger than your thumb. A lot of the cherries that you're going to find at the grocery store are going to be 10.5, 11.5 row, and I find that those are mostly pits. And I don't really want to ship everyone a bunch of pits, so we take those little guys and we turn them into cherry juice, or we'll send them and dehydrate them and sell them as dehydrated cherries or something like that. But when we ship fresh cherries from my farm, they're going to be nice big cherries. They're going to be awesome. So size is the first thing. The second thing you want to look for is stems. So you can see our stem here, nice and green, nice and healthy, and still attached to the cherry. Now, if you pick up a bag of cherries at the grocery store and half the stems fall off, those are getting a little long in the tooth. You probably don't want those cherries. My stems here still very, very firmly attached to the fruit. Now, you should have at least 3/4 of the cherries in your bag with the stems still attached. All right? The next thing you want to look for are splits and blemishes. So, unfortunately, Mother Nature is not always our best friend in the cherry business. And what that means is that when our cherries are just getting to the point where they're, ripening and the sugars are starting to set in and the fruit's starting to swell, a little bit of rain and a little bit of sun can really, really screw us over. And what I mean by that is that if we get a bunch of rain and the cherry gets wet and starts to swell, and then the sun comes out right after, the cherry is going to explode. And what that looks like then is you get a split. Now, if there's a split along the bottom of your cherry, that's not good, because that's where you're going to get like botrytis setting in, or bacterial canker, or some fungus, or something like that. It's not good. If you get a split along the top, that's acceptable as long as the split is not more than half the circumference of the whole cherry. Okay? The next thing you want to look for is blemishes. Now, what a blemish can be is like if I drop it, bonk, it's going to get a bruise on it, and that's going to turn brown and soft. Or if it has any sort of rot or a bird peck that botrytis can get inside, or brown rot or whatever, and can start growing, and then that's when you get those fuzzy cherries, and nobody really likes the fuzzy cherries very much. Right, so anyway, that's the outside of the fruit. Let's talk about the inside of the fruit. I'm going to bite this guy, and it's going to be awesome. Oh my gosh. So what you're looking for on the inside of a cherry is a uniform color. And for a Rainier, that should be a nice, bright yellow. There shouldn't be any dark spots around the outside. And for a red cherry, it should be a nice, dark red inside, not white on the middle, red on the outside, right? You want red all the way to the pit. The next thing you want to look for is the pit itself should detach away from the fruit quite easily. Now, if the fruit is still stuck to the pit, then it's probably not ripe yet and was probably picked too soon. Okay? The next thing you want is juice. So when I did that, oh my gosh, my fingers now are absolutely covered in cherry juice. Fantastic. The reason why cherries are so sweet is because the starch converts to sugars like any other fruit or vegetable. And we measure that with something called a Brix number. And the higher the Brix, the higher the sugar content of the fruit. And the Brix of these Rainiers this year are between 27 and 28, which is absolutely fantastic for Brix. That's what makes it so sweet and delicious. You want a juicy cherry, you want it to run down the front of your face if you're taking a bite in it. Absolutely fantastic. So, that's what you look for in a good cherry. We're shipping a bunch of good cherries this year. You'll be able to find them starting next week around the 8th or 9th of July in natural food stores in Calgary like Blush Lane, Community Natural, and in Edmonton only through the organic box. So you got to get an organic box to get my cherries. That's just the way it is. Hey, I hope you like them. You can also come down and pick some up at our distribution center if you want, but get a box. We've got 100 families just like mine in the organic box, farming fruit and vegetables with just as much love as this for you. And the best way for you to get access to that stuff is to get an organic box. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.